Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
How are you?
Doing well. Um, excited to speak with you guys today. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Let's get started with who is Yo Kinky?
Yo Kinky is Tom Unish and Laura White. We are a duo based in New York City. What else, Tom?
We make music.
We make music to dance to.
Some of the things I've listened to from your catalog, I'm getting some trip hop vibes. Am I at all on the right path?
Yeah, we're into that. We're into that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Or
not
maybe
our,
shoegaze?
yeah, there's that too. I mean, we kind of, I think, have a mix of a little bit of, we like a lot of different genres and styles of music. So I think, that kind of seeps into our sound a bit.
Who's an artist that you listen to and you're like, man, this person makes me want to be a better musician?
Tom?
I guess lately, I don't know, we were listening, Stereo Lab was definitely one, like listening to that, some of the stuff they've been doing. I feel like, wow, this is like really good, well-arranged music.
Yeah, Stereo Lab's great. We love, like you said, we love Portishead, of course. Massive Attack is cool. Who else? God, we were listening to this morning some David Bowie, of course.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
This morning.
The range of people like that is pretty inspiring and unbelievable, out of this world. So bands like that.
How's the scene up in New York? What part of New York are you from? The city?
Well, from like originally?
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
originally
start
from
there.
LA. You said what?
Let's start there. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from LA, like West LA, West Hollywood area, and then
Where we're from.
Huh?
We're from Ventura. There it
You're
is.
from Ventura? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Like Ventura Boulevard or
No, Ventura County.
Magic Mountain?
Oxnard. No.
Oh.
By the beach. Ventura Harbor.
Okay.
Off the 101.
Yeah, my mom and her family, they grew up in Oxnard and had like.
I live in Oxnard right now.
Oh wow, Oxnard Shores.
Yes.
Oh wow, cool. I haven't been there in a long time. We took trips when we were kids, but cool, nice, Oxnard.
Yeah.
And then I lived in San Francisco a little bit when I was, a few years ago, and in Paris for a long time, and then I moved here like 2 years ago to New York.
That's amazing. What about you?
I grew up right outside New York City in New Jersey.
Oh, all right.
So I've been around New York City for a while.
It's like the opposite. My father came from New York to California. And then that's why I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Because he's from up north, North Collins area.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice. So how is the scene out there in New York for this music? Well, when it's not COVID, and because I can't understand the scene in New York because it seems like there's so many different pockets of scene out there. There's a big hip hop community, there's a big alternative community, and then there's also a big, what do you call that? Industrial or so. How is the scene for your genre out there in New York?
As I just moved here 2 years ago, I only know like one kind of scene, which is like the garage rock kind of, right? Like rock and roll nights.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think? Where would we fit in?
Yeah, I think New York always has a lot of pretty diverse things happening musically and scenes, but I don't feel like people necessarily stick to just one scene. I think people jump around, like different things, like us, how we like different music. I think a lot of other people do, and kind of like, they go around to different scenes. I feel like it fits in with everything. I feel like we have a not necessarily a New York sound, but I feel like our sound is influenced by New York City.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, maybe back in like 2014, 2015, there's a lot of bands that came out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Data, Big Data, you know the Big Data.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know them?
I know that name. I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a big O scene. I mean, and I guess it sort of Alt Nation on Sirius XM, they sort of in that time frame um put together a great scene. And I've interviewed a lot of people from that era, and it's just like it makes me yearn to be out there and just to observe it, because it seems like the scene's so amazing.
Yeah. Well, if you have like WFNU as like an indicator of what the scene is like,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a pretty, have you heard of that radio station?
Vaguely sounds familiar.
How would you describe it, Tom? Tom's
It's
been listening to it for a long time.
it's eclectic. I mean, it's pretty much everything. They pretty much play anything besides like top 40.
Yeah.
It's kind of like counter programming in a way. So a
Yeah.
lot of like clear channel kind of stuff.
And
Yeah.
that sort of gets old.
Or iHeartRadio, I guess what it is now.
The whole Clear Channel iHeartRadio thing. Like you
Yeah.
only can listen to the same 25 songs so many times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's only so much you can hear like Black Dog or Stairway to Heaven like every day, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Or Foo Fighters Everlong.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a great song.
It's an
but
awesome
like,
song.
yeah,
But
you don't
you know,
need
when I'm
once
pulling
every-
into work and that song's on, and then I'm pulling out to go to lunch and it's
Mhm.
on, and I'm going home and it's on, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Have you heard their new stuff with Greg Kirsten as producer? They just.
Foo Fighters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard a couple of their new tracks um this past week, and one of them was really, really good. Like The War on Each Other or something like that was, I think, the name of the song was.
Sweet. Yeah, I know like Shame, right?
Yeah, the Shame, I think it's
Shame,
called. I think it's
Shame.
the one.
Oh yeah. I remember that one too.
Yeah, they played on SNL like last month, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're
Yeah.
very they have such longevity.
Oh, I think that's the if I can interview David, I think I'm just gonna pack it up after that. I mean, who am I gonna reach for after that? You know what I mean? Elton John maybe,
Mhm.
but I mean he's there's so many good questions for him.
Yeah.
Um, so are you guys working on a project right now?
But right now, we just released our EP last week.
Okay.
So we've been working on some new music to hopefully release later this year.
Tell me about your latest project that you released last week.
Okay. Well, it's 5 songs. It's an EP that we started working on last I guess February is when we started writing together.
Yeah, we started writing together. We formed last year, around a year ago, a little over a year ago. And during the pandemic, we wrote and recorded a bunch of songs, and the EP is kind of like a culmination of like those writing sessions and recording sessions. And yeah, so we just put it out. We've been putting out singles over the past few months from it, and yeah, we just released the EP last week.
How do you feel about it, and how did you guys go about the writing process of it? Like, do you guys sit down in a room with a guitar and just let the night take you, or the day take you where it's going to take you? Or because I always find it very fascinating to get in people's heads and how they create.
Every song, I think each of the 5 was kind of different, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them was a song I had written like a couple months prior, and then Tom did his Yo Kinky twist on it, and then and then Another song Tom wrote the music to right before we had like our first band practice together and sent it to me. And then I wrote the lyrics on the way over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, I think the other three we were working on like I would do some chords or he would pass some chords on the guitar. And then one of us would be like, oh, that's really great. And then we'd like, record it and then do some bass over it.
Yeah, sometimes one of us comes up with like, say, like the verse part or like the A part, and one of us would write the B part, and we would just kind of like swap writing parts. But I mean, every song kind of came together very differently. A lot of it is very spontaneous. When we're recording, like sometimes we'll be working on something, and if it doesn't work, say we're playing with like a beat that we programmed. And then it's like, oh, we're not into this. Then we speed it up, and then all of a sudden, out of that, we'll just start writing a song pretty quickly. I mean, a lot of our writing is pretty fast. We don't really labor so much over the writing process so much. We maybe do mix down when it comes to arranging. We'll like really, that's when we really like sharpen our
Like Brian Wilson.
Yeah, it's like the kind of like the Hemingway like write drunk, edit sober kind of thing. Like that kind of mentality where we just write, we don't think about it, and then afterwards we'll like, okay, let's like really put this together.
That shit does not work for me, man. So all right, so I like to think I'm a comedian. Not really. But when I write, like I'll write a bunch of, I write parody songs sometimes, and I will just smoke a bunch of weed. And just to like put myself outside of my body, like not worrying about, oh, I need to wash dishes, or not, oh, I need to pay the phone bill, or whatever my worries might be, to take myself away from there and write. And it never works. It's always editing. Oh fuck, I'm just gonna write over again.
Do you do stand up?
Yeah, I do stand up. Yeah.
Oh, we watch a lot of the Practical Jokers these days. Do you
Oh
watch
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You kind of reminded us of Sal.
You're not the first person that said that. I am Italian as well, so
Oh, cool. Well, God.
yeah.
Last name again?
Amoroso.
Amoroso.
Yeah, it means lovable in Italian.
Nice.
Oh.
I wrote a parody song. I'm trying to record. I'm actually recording tonight. Is have you heard that song "Be Like Mike"?
The like the commercial,
Oh,
like
Yeah, the commercial.
Yeah.
They had last week Coca-Cola, they put out that training about how they want people to be less white. So then I wrote a song to be like Mike called "Be Less White." So hopefully, it'll be out soon.
Can we hear it, or is it?
I have verses, but I don't. I haven't. I don't. It's not recorded yet.
Okay.
Do you want me? Do you want to hear the? Oh
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Note, I'm a comedian, so don't cancel me if it's
Okay.
less PC. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Shit. I didn't expect to see this or do this. All right. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Sometimes I dream. My name's Hakeem. I guess I'm too white for society. I pull up my pants. I dream I could dance. Less white if I can be less white. And then he goes, if I can be less white. And then it says, I'll smoke some tree. Won't get my degree. Just for one day, if I could be that way. Give up my image. Give up my privilege. Less white if I can be less white. And then goes to the chorus and call. This is where people are probably going to get upset. Call me Shaquille. I'll learn to steal. It'll be okay. I'll leave the KKK. I'll be real poor. Lower my credit score. Less white if I can be less white. That's it.
Poetry.
Yeah. So we have a podcast, and that's what we were talking about last week. Is that like, come on, man? They're just canceling everything. So I think it's like, how they do the Deadpool? We should do like a Deadpool of what they're canceling next. Last week was Pardon me?
The movie's Deadpool?
No, you know how they have a Deadpool of who dies this year? They call it a Deadpool.
Like you take bets on who you think's gonna die.
Oh wow. Ooh,
So
sorry.
we should take bets on who's gonna get canceled next, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, who was the most recent? Is Eric
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss? What?
Dr. Seuss.
Right, yeah. I saw that yesterday on one of those sites. Like they're gonna get some of those out of print, right? That have
6
like
of them.
Okay.
And some of them are just, you know, like because they had someone who is of Oriental descent with chopsticks, and that's one of them. But the message in that book is pretty much saying that it's okay for all of us to be different. But because they have someone that looks traditional Chinese with chopsticks, that was one of the reasons.
Well, are they about to eat? Is it
No,
like
it's sort of like he's running through, he's holding chopsticks in a bowl and running through like a scene.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I don't know that book.
That's
But,
a little inappropriate.
I'm not too familiar with the Dr. Seuss. It's been a long time since I've opened up a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, I have all of them. You know, I just had kids. I mean, my kids are grown already. You know, or not really. They're in high school, and then I know it's crazy. And so I went and looked through them, and man, Doctor, I don't remember ever thinking a certain way about when I was a little kid reading a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
And then last week was Mr. Potato Head.
Oh yeah, did you say something like that? What
I
was
don't
it?
think it's no. There's like well, I don't know. I think there's. I don't really know.
Oh no, it was that joke. I'm sorry, it was the joke thing we have with those calendars.
Mm-hmm.
We have a joke calendar.
Joke a day. It was like something. What is Mr. Potato Head? Something.
We're very behind on our calendar, but
Oh no,
this
it's
is
Humpty
a
Dumpty. That's it.
it's a Humpty Dump. But anyway,
Yeah.
this is we're a little behind. This is from February 19th. What do you call a book with sparkles?
Star, no, Sparkle. I don't know.
Gliterature. It's very these are very like nice like clean jokes, but very good. So when should you do your math homework?
Let me see. Algebra. I don't know. Add, divide.
Calculator.
What's the date today?
Today's the 5th, so let's go to
Oh
the
my god, we're
5th.
a month behind. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
with
Okay.
what do you take?
What's that mean? Okay.
Yeah, actually, how this for some reason these are all fish related jokes, but how do you buy a tropical fish?
I don't understand that. With money? What does that mean?
Anime.
Anime?
Like sea anime, like an anime, like you know.
Oh, animated.
It's anemone.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because March is
Oh,
like.
anemone.
Yeah, an
There it
anime.
is.
Okay, because it's anemone is a ocean creature.
Yeah, it's like anemone, money, anemone, anemone, anemone.
Well, it's pretty hard to write 365 awesome jokes.
Well, there's like more
It's like
than
four a
there's
day.
4 a day.
Oh,
So-
there's 4 a day.
Yeah, it's just like laugh out loud. One of these like books, you know, every
Yeah.
day,
Okay.
just to like start on the right foot. But it's not very sturdy, so I don't recommend it. But it's
Mhm.
fun.
It's
There's
cute
books for
too.
the whole family.
Start your day with comedy.
It's a interesting. You know, it's fun. It's really fun. But then you find yourself always tearing down everything, like trying to be an asshole to everyone, to try to be the funniest, you know. So it's hard. It really takes a toll on your soul. It's a dark place you're in, you know.
Have you ever heard of? I think he's from LA. The Cholo Fit Creeper.
Yeah, he's from our area, Oxnard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I love him. He's so funny.
So-
So great. Cause
So
like
you traveled. I mean, you've traveled everywhere. You lived in Paris. What were you doing in Paris? Were you studying?
I was, yeah.
You were.
I was a
What did-
student.
Did you do any arts?
I studied mainly language, like French and literature. Yeah, that was my major, French and literature, French literature. I was really kind of obsessed with French language and French culture as a kid.
Hmm.
So it was always like a dream of mine to go live there. And during then, during that time, I was also writing songs, of course, and I had like a couple of short-lived projects with people that I met over there. So it was a fun experience. But I grew up in like West LA, kind of like where a lot of people, a lot of my childhood friends kind of were like Cholafit Creeper. So I feel like I can kind of that's like the old friend. That's my old hood. That's my old friends. So anyway, but yeah, I did traveling there, France, Paris. Have you been there?
No, I've been almost everywhere in the world except for Europe.
Ooh,
I was in the service, so I was able to travel.
oh my God, were you in Afghanistan?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I got in 2000.
Whoa. Okay, right
And so,
before.
yeah. And then I was in Thailand on September 10th.
Whoa.
And then 2001. And then they called you. They were like, hey, it's time to go. And like, it was scary. It was like, oh shit. Like, I was like 19, you know? I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, well, just do what I'm told and shut the hell up. That's it. And get back home. But then Afghanistan to Iraq, back to Afghanistan. So I went 3 different tours.
How long did they last?
The first tour was 6 months. The second tour was 9 months, and the third tour was 4 months.
Wow. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Wild.
What about you, bud? What have you? What are your loves in life
Me, my
besides
love.
music? Don't say music. I know that I
Yeah, we know. Um,
We know, Tom.
I like comedy. I like to laugh. I like it. I'm not gonna say music, but I like working with sound. I didn't say music. I mean, I have there's a lot of things. I like books. I like to go on long walks. I like candlelight dinners.
you're
Long,
sensitive.
long walks on the beach.
He likes to be wined and dined.
Yeah. Poetry,
That's awesome.
He likes movies.
movies.
He's really into like
Yeah, I like
movie
movies.
trivia.
I like sci-fi. Like
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Do you watch Black Mirror?
I haven't seen it.
Don't talk to me about sci-fi, and if you're not gonna
And
watch Black Mirror.
I mean, all my friends, I have one friend in particular who really likes it, and he's like kind of shocked. He's like, I can't believe you've never seen that show. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when I hear the plots, I'm like, I feel like I already live in a world that's Black Mirror. So a lot of times I'm always looking to escape this kind of
Oh my, it is. I freaking love it. I've watched it like 6 times, and I'm not a guy that likes to watch over and over movies. Like that's my wife. That's what she's like. She watches like freaking super bad like a million times. Every time it's on TV, she puts it on. It's like how many times we're gonna watch that?
There are
McLovin.
some movies though that are like that. If it's on TV, like if it's any part of the movie, I can just start watching it. Like Goodfellas, or like Godfather, I can easily just
There you go.
I can easily like you see a scene like one scene comes like all right, I can watch this over again. But yeah, I don't tend to watch a lot of things too
My
much.
I
'Cause there's
just
so
showed
much
my
to
kids.
watch.
I just showed my kids Casino.
Ooh, that's another one. I could
Yeah.
watch that. That's a good one.
And then Pulp Fiction. That's my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs we watched recently.
Yep.
But I think my favorite, I really think the last one he did has been kind of my bad. Like that one I've watched a few times. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I just think that one's great.
He has one more movie left, huh?
Apparently, yeah, he's gonna do. He's only doing 10, so
And we're at 9.
yeah, the last one was 9, so yeah, so he's got one more. So we'll see.
What do you?
I think it's kind of awesome that it's just like he's just like gonna be like 10. I mean, for me, I like all of them, so it's like he's gonna be. I think the new one will be whatever he does will be good. So it'll just be like 10 for 10, not make a movie, and it's like it's like you have the like legend. It's like that's it. You've like cemented your
That's
legacy.
it. In when you do that, when you limit your work,
Mm-hmm.
you're just the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You call your own shots. Like everybody wants to. I mean, I would imagine, like, how awesome would that be, right? To call
Mhm.
your own shots and go out the way you want to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like interesting to think of like you start something, but you never think of how you're gonna end it.
Hmm.
So it's like anything, like you start a band, you're never thinking of like, oh, how this you're always just thinking about what the band's gonna do in the future, but you never think about how you're gonna like finish the band. Like, okay, we're gonna just do this and that's it. So it's like the fact that he's already had that idea, that he's gonna make 10 films, it's like, oh, it really like I feel like it's kind of made the quality of the films. So it's like, all right, if I'm gonna make like, if I'm on film set, it's gotta be, all my films have to like mean something.
I guess you
Does
could
that
do
make
that
sense?
though.
Yeah,
You could go into any creative project or any project, non-creative or creative, and like decide this is the end game and then work your way towards it so that each time he makes a movie, he knows exactly, okay, this has got to be a spaghetti western style one. This one's got to be like, this and that. So it's just really cool how he created that that end game already so that each one is such a blast and such a
Yeah.
work of a masterpiece.
It is.
Yeah.
And not
Oh,
not a lot of people are like that.
yeah. I heard that he's writing a novel. Did you hear about that?
No.
It's a novelization of the last movie.
Okay.
So it's like more expanded, like the story's more expanded. So it's like I guess there was maybe some stuff he left out for time in the last film.
That's
But I
awesome.
think it's just more like it's like a novelization, but I think it has a little bit more like characters.
I ended up I went to that house, the Sharon Tate house, in 2019.
Oh man.
CeeLo Drive.
Yeah. It,
CeeLo?
I think is it CeeLo?
Cello?
It's,
CELLO.
okay.
Oh, like cello.
So okay.
Yeah. It is it there's things that you just can't explain in there. Like the way it feels and then the way you there was a dog in there. These are one of the things. So I'll tell you the things I can't explain. There was a dog inside the house with us, the person who owns the property had a dog.
Mhm.
The dog, we're inside of the middle of a hall. There's a hallway. Very 70s like. That's what it looks like inside. And the dog stands in front of me and looks up. He's like, he's just staring up. And he gets up and starts growling up. I have this on tape. So then you start looking around and then he just the dog just goes about his ways. So I can't explain that. I went in there trying to disprove it because it's supposed to be one of the most hottest, or it's one of the most hottest paranormal places in California. So then after that, we have they had this little keyboard. We put it down and we play, just like press the buttons. We leave it there. We go and do our thing for a little bit. And then we start talking. We're actually specifically talking about Zach Baggins because he himself has investigated that place. And they were talking about the investigation with that. Then the keyboard starts playing by itself. And mind you, the first thing to my mind would be like, oh, I used to have a toy like this. And when you haven't touched it for a while, it plays a song and shuts off. So I'm like, maybe that's it. But then I look and you can turn it on and off. It's like, well, maybe it's just battery saving. I gave it the benefit of a doubt, right? So then we go and do other things and you hear it. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, this is real. Guys, we all come, we all look around. There's nothing we can do to explain what happened. Then we go downstairs and we hear music because we put like a speaker upstairs while we went downstairs just to keep an eye on any activity. And it happens again. We're hearing it, but this time we're hearing it with a little girl singing.
Oh,
Weird.
Dang. Wait, what? Wait, the little girl was singing along to the song, along to the keyboard? Or the little piano?
Yes. Yes. So she's like, la di da di ba. I can't, it was a specific cadence of that was repeated constantly. And it feels like your head's in a mind F while you're there because you don't understand what's happening, but you know it's not normal.
Wow. Wow.
It's nuts. It was fun. It was fun though. I mean, I've got to, just say I've been inside there. It's pretty awesome.
Does someone currently live there, or is it
Yes.
there is? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is. And we've even, there is a place called the David Oman House on the same street. Inside that house, you go down to the third floor, and we did a EVP session there, and there was an Indian. So, I mean, according through the EVP that they caught, it's like, get off my land, this is my land, talking, and they figured that used to be an ancient Indian burial ground. And when a life of someone who's innocent gets shed, it gets these spirits all riled up. It's awesome. You should check it. You should look at it. That's why he did it, man. It's such an amazing story, from a political end to a societal end to a paranormal end. Like every single phase of it is so fascinating.
There's it came out, I guess, 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, because it was the 50th anniversary of the murders. But there's a book called Chaos, and it's a whole, like, this one journalist's like 20 or 30-year investigation on the whole thing, on the whole murders.
Mhm.
And it just kind of goes really, like, about into like the CIA and everything. It's like a lot of like stuff that was sort of like not discovered or discussed in
Mhm.
Helter
Yeah.
Skelter. What's the other? There's The Family, and that's another good book about that whole scene. But yeah, it's a really like fascinating read.
And I don't even know what to believe because there's two different polar opposite stories of what's happening.
Mhm.
what do you mean? What do you
One,
mean?
they think that who's the gentleman that was that lived that house that was.
It was originally before they bought it. It was Terry Melcher, the
Mhm.
record producer.
Yep.
That was like kind of who he was. I think he recorded his album with him. I think Charles Manson, when he did some recording sessions with Terry Melcher, because he got
And he didn't pay him.
through what's his name, Dennis Wilson.
Yes.
And then there was the one, because originally Charles Manson wrote a song and the Beach Boys bought it off him.
Uh-huh.
What's it? I can't remember the Beach Boys, but he wrote a song called "Cease to Exist," and then they bought it off him, and the Beach Boys called it "Cease to Resist" or something like that. Whatever, but he had there was all of a whole thing in the music scene. But yeah, Terry Melcher, the guy who produced what's the band? They're in the Once Upon a Time movie. They talk about, but Paul Revere and the Raiders. He produced a bunch of those records and everything like that. But yeah, that's the guy that owned it.
Yeah, it's then they think that she was murdered by her own husband. That she was.
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that theory? It's a recent theory. Joe Rogan had some guy on who wrote an investigation about it, and they think that they just used the Manson to cover up the crime that he killed his own wife. or girlfriend or whatever.
It's extravagant.
The one theory I remember reading in that book, The Family, was that it was some sort of mobster. There was like one thing where like some sort of mob or someone Charles Manson knew from prison hired them to go over there and steal some films because apparently Roman Polanski was known to have these like orgies, like
Yes.
Hollywood like orgies, and they were like, filming, celebrities engaging in some, illicit activities. And there was something about like some criminal wanting to steal those reels to blackmail like the people that were in them. And then I think it kind of got like, I don't know if they were ever discovered, or I think they were, or they were missing. And then they was like saying how all these actors, like I think like Warren Beatty and all these people were like putting up all this money because they also they wanted to find the reels. But I mean, who knows if any of this is true? But I remember that was like a theory that went around a while.
I like that. I want to look more into that.
I hope it's not with underage girls though.
I think it's celebrities.
But that was in that book, The Family. I think it came out in the 80s.
I'm gonna read that one.
But that one I remember reading that theory. But yeah, there's so many. Apparently, in the Chaos book, it says that he was maybe working with the CIA, Charles Manson for the CIA. That's kind of why they never arrested him. Like he was kind of an agent, because it was like because Charles Manson, it was about the Black Panther Party. So they kind of were like, oh, Charles Manson can help us take down the Black Panther Party. That was like another theory they had. I mean, there's so many crazy stories. It's like, who knows what's true, but that's like another story that there's proof of, like, some documents have been found to say that, but who knows?
Dang.
It's amazing.
He's dead now, right, Charles? He
Yeah.
died a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
Last year, I think.
Last year. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Ding dong.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. We're gonna do a little write up on you in a future magazine article.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
So we appreciate it. Thank you so much. I enjoy your art, and I love talking to you guys. You guys are awesome people.
Oh, thank you. Great time to meet you.
Let's chat again sometime.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll follow you guys on social media. We had an awesome little chat, so maybe we can do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, find that book. We'll discuss more.
Yes, and
There's
I'll look at more of those.
one, and then there's The Family. It's the other.
And now
Yeah.
look into who was saying that about how it was with the Polanski killed her.
Yeah.
I'll see where that came from, and I'll bring it to you guys.
Yeah, that's a new one. I haven't heard that
For sure. And then let us know when we can hear that song that you're
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll tag you. I'll send it to you guys. I'll do a DM,
You can
Yeah.
tag us if you want.
or I'll tag you guys.
Okay.
one. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
You too. Bye.